Hey, what's up, world? It's John McLaughlin, the governor from the Abakuas. Tonight, we'll do a little video talking about why the stock market is one of the safest places that you can go to put your money. Why investing in the stock market is one of the safest things that you can do. Okay, because when a lot of people hear about the stock market, they think about gambling and they think about losing money and they think about the market crashes and things of that nature, and that's what comes to mind. And really, you know, it's really the opposite of that. The stock market is been in existence for hundreds of years. The original stock markets go back to the Dutch in like the 1400s or something. So they've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. They're going to continue to being around for hundreds of years. So when you want to talk about risk, really there's no way to avoid risk. I mean, life is a risk. Everything you do in life carries some level of risk. So let's just think about financially some risks that we have been taught to accept as being commonplace and not thinking anything of them. So we can start with our student loans. If you take out $50,000 or $100,000 of student loans, that is a risk. You're taking a risk that whatever degree you're going to school for gets you a good job, and that job pays you enough that you can manage your student loans and pay them back over whatever time frame that they're doing. A mortgage, that's another common example. Buying your house. When you buy your house and have a mortgage, you are taking a risk that you will be able to pay not only your principal amount for your house, but usually 2 to 3 times more than your principal amount with interest, if not more than that. So again, you're taking that risk that over these next 30 years, I'll be able to pay this off. Most of that comes from this idea of job security and having a good job. That in of itself is a risk. Jobs are not guaranteed. There are very, very few people who are so essential to their job that they are irreplaceable. That's a razor thin fraction of people that are indispensable to whatever company they're working for. The vast majority of us, are replaceable. And in fact, companies, particularly big companies, are always looking for ways to reduce their costs and to get rid of employees. The less employees, the better for them, because that is saving money on their bottom line. So there really is no such thing as job security. Okay? Say you do have a good job and you say, okay, I don't need to invest because I have a 401k. Okay? You're still taking a risk. That's better than nothing, but somebody else is managing that money for you. And I can show you a long list of articles and data that would tell you that the people that are running your 401k more often than not do not really have your best interest in mind. It's not like they're usually going all out trying to maximize your every dollar. In fact, that's a company run thing, and they're again trying to save themselves as much money as possible. Okay, so on the flip side, let's look at the stock market and corporations. Okay, corporations are indispensable to the economy. Okay, a lot of times you'll hear people say that small businesses are the backbone of the economy, and in a sense, I can agree with that because they employ more people overall and such. But when you really think about it, the big corporations are what supply the infrastructure that keeps our whole economy and country running. Okay. Payment and processing. What small business do you know of that does not use Visa or MasterCard or American Express to process payments? I don't know about you, but I barely ever really carry any cash. So like most businesses, almost every business I go into uses a corporation to process payments. Okay. What small business do you know that doesn't have some type of phone service or some type of internet service? you know, whether it be, through Verizon or whatever, Comcast or whoever, or even what what small business doesn't have a computer, or whether it be a HP or an Apple. Um, it's large corporations that provide the technology that keeps our businesses running. Okay, um, even just traveling to your place of work, or traveling, um, you know, materials and inventory between places that requires cars and trucks and such, which are made by corporations. Okay, um, how many small businesses rely on Amazon to reach their customers? Okay, how many small businesses rely on a UPS or a FedEx to ship their products to their customers? So the point being that corporations are really the backbone of the whole economic system. They kind of keep everything tied together. How you know that they're so important is the way that they get support when things are going bad. Back in the Great Recession, 2008, we had huge stimulus. There was a lot of fuss about banks getting bailed out and all these companies getting bailed out. We're seeing that same thing right now with the whole COVID-19. Okay, the government has literally shelled out multiple trillions of dollars, mostly in loans and grants to large corporations. They also gave some money to small business, and they also gave some money to states, and they also wrote us individual checks. But the bulk of the money went to corporations to help them stay afloat. On top of that, the Federal Reserve has put out multiple trillions of dollars to keep the market and corporations afloat. Okay, so that right there tells you that the stock market and the corporations in the stock market are vital to the country and to the economy. So the point being is that they are not going to too big to fail, right? They are not going to be allowed to fail. Some of them might, there'll be an occasional company that goes out of business, but by and large, the market is not going to be allowed to fail. Even if it does contract or have a recession, eventually is going to get back on track and continue going up. So let's talk about some specific numbers with the stock market. If you buy a stock and hold it for one day, you have a 53% chance of losing money. So even just one day, you only have a half of, basically a coin flip of making money or losing money. Now, if you hold it for a year, that drops down to 32%. If you hold it for 5 years, that drops down to 20%. If you hold it for 10 years, you're down to 12%. And if you hold it for 20 years, you're down to a 0% chance of losing your money. 20 years, 0% chance of losing your money. That's historical data on the market going back to 1871. So well over 100 years, 130 years basically, of data telling you that if you are invested in the market for 20 years or more, you have a 0% chance of losing money. Now let's think about any of those things we mentioned before. Can you tell me that there's a 0% chance that you don't default on your student loan after 20 years? Can you tell me that there's a 0% chance that your house doesn't go into foreclosure when you, over 20 years? Can you guarantee that? Can you guarantee there's a 0% chance that you don't have job security over 20 years? Can you guarantee that? No, you cannot, So realistically, there's nowhere else you're going to get that type of guarantee that you are going to make money. So that kind of brings me back around to the Abakuas, which is what I'm always talking about. And this brother Theante, who is a member of the Abakuas, he had a great post the other day where he was talking about his thought process in joining the group. And his first thoughts were questions like, what if the class isn't worth the money I pay for it? What if I go into the market and I lose my money, etc.? And those are common thoughts and understandable. But just based off of the information I'm telling you, it should make you think And what his point was in his post was that yes, I considered those questions, but then I thought about what went right. What if it goes right? What if I learn economic freedom? What if I'm able to work for myself and not have to work for other people? What if I can have economic independence? What if I can give my children an inheritance? And so sometimes you got to step outside of your comfort zone, okay? And um, when it comes to finances, things of the financial nature, I, continue to strongly implore black people to learn about the stock market. Okay, come join the Abakuas. If you have questions about it, maybe you don't know me, but you're seeing talking about it all the time. Ask me a question. You know, we have a track record of people that have had success using our program. I have a team of people who have gone through the program or at various stages of the program who I can put you in touch with that can tell you their testimonies. I have numerous other contacts in the group, dozens and dozens of people who could tell you their experience in the group. Um, so the overall point being, you can't escape risk. Risk is a part of life. Everything you do carries some risk. Every time you walk outside the door, there's some type of risk involved. And I think we, as black people, really just need to change our mentality. Try something different, particularly when there's data and history and numbers that support it being worthwhile to at least try. At least try to learn the stock market. At least try to see whether you can make some money investing or build up a nest egg that you can pass to your children investing. If it doesn't work, what happens? You're right back in the same spot where you are now, and it really won't make a difference. But if you succeed, as my brother Theonte said, if you succeed, if you do put your all into the classes and you learn the information and you do commit to consistently investing in your circle of 20, imagine what can go right. Don't just think about what can go wrong. Um, that's automatically setting yourself up in a negative, state of mind. And that's not conducive to success. Nobody that's successful um, harps on what could go wrong. They might consider what could go wrong and have a plan for things if they go wrong. But what they really are telling themselves is that I'm going to be successful. I don't know how long it'll take me. I don't know how many times I'll have to try, but I'm going to be successful. So that's my message for today. The stock market is one of the safest places that you can put your money. It is the safest place, I would say, that you can put your money and build it for the future, build it for your family, build it for your community. So stop procrastinating, stop delaying. Come get with the Abakuas. Let us help you. Let us teach you. Get down with the family. We have a whole network of people who, love and enjoy teaching and helping other people succeed. So we out here when you're ready. Today is the appointed time, not tomorrow. All right, y'all. Bless up.